Hey Bulldogs, Bill Pink, and I just want to say welcome to the new semester. Happy New Year. Glad that you're back and glad that you decided to come back to Ferris State University and go at it at finishing what you started. We are so happy that you're back. I want to encourage you that as you go through this semester, as you connect with others who are in the room right now, not only other students, but some of the folks right here at Ferris State who are right here willing and able to help you get through this semester, get through the next semester, get to what you're here for, to get to your next, so that you can be everything that you came here to be. I encourage you to take advantage of all the resources we offer here. I encourage you to connect to each other, encourage each other, because you can get this done. And one day, I feel very confident that I will be able to see you face to face. But that face to face will be walking across the stage in a funny looking dress with a real funny looking hat on. But all that funny look is for me to shake your hand and say, congratulations, you finished. I look forward to that day. But until that day, get it done. Go Bulldogs.
So what are we going to do tonight? We're going to talk about ReFocus at Ferris and boy, we got started with that. Tonight's kind of a busy work night. We're going to have you've got some papers in your folder, responsibilities, a program agreement. We're going to work on an academic recovery plan because we want you to be successful. We recognize that some of us had a tough semester and didn't get off to the right start. But you know what? As my dean says, Bulldogs are gritty, and we're going to be gritty this semester and get things done. This program is a result of what I call the Hurricane Conference. Last November, there were several people that went to a conference in Orlando, or just outside of Orlando, for Navigate. Who's heard of Navigate? You will. You will learn more about Navigate.
Some of you guys have heard about Navigate.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Okay, so part of what we're going to do is be connecting you guys. So in this, I got to stand up here so I can see what I'm talking about. We're going to share with you some of our experiences, tales from the trenches, and when we get done, we've got some swag, okay? So with this program, I'm putting this away because it doesn't work. No. So ReFocus at Ferris. You guys have information in Blackboard or Canvas shell, and I know many of you have logged in already. The paperwork that is in your folder is in there. Connections will be made in there. You can also go to, and I know many of you have, the Ferris the website. So you all know how to join, you're here, right? But how can we help? What we want to do, see if I can make this a little bit bigger, is we want to help students return to good academic standing. We want you to walk across the stage in that funny dress. I want you to go out, get a job, make a lot of money so I can get Social Security, okay? So do well, do it quickly. That's supposed to be funny, come on. Oh, you're a hard crowd. We want to help you to feel that you belong, create a sense of self-efficacy and self-esteem. We want to increase your sense of belonging. We've heard a lot of students say they're really not sure if they should be at Ferris or not, and help you to build sustainable relationships. We're going to connect you with a coach. In the next couple of days, you should be getting some information who your success coach is. It's not going to be a peer mentor. I know all of you first-year students have got engagement coaches, and they'll still follow you through. But we're going to connect you with professionals here on campus. The provost, Bobby Fleischman, is participating. The dean of students is participating. The dean of retention and student success, we're participating. Danielle Gregory from OMSS, and just people across campus because they have a heart for helping students. So utilize this person as somebody that you can ask questions to, that you can connect with. We're going to ask you to meet with that coach 2 or 3 times throughout the semester, okay, just to make sure things are on track. And if you have difficulties finding resources, or you need to get help, or maybe some financial issues come up, connect with your coach. We can help you get connected to those resources. We're going to ask you to do the 5 workshops. This is number 1, okay? The other workshops, if you go to this page, this is the Ferris homepage. This is going to tell you what all the workshops are and when they are. You can actually add it to your Outlook calendar from this page, but I'm going to tell you to be watching for invitations for appointments through Navigate, because that's just going to help us with the tracking. But our next session is going to be in 2 weeks on the 31st, we're going to come back here because there's too many of you to go into the library and do that. But we're going to talk about a program called EduGuide. EduGuide is awesome. It is built on, let me get back out of here. EduGuide is, it's positive mindset, it's grit. So we're going to ask you, starting in week 3, to do just a weekly module in EduGuide. It's going to take you about 15 minutes. There's some activities. Sometimes you watch a video. And then you're going to practice coaching other students in a positive mindset. The advice, like you shared as you came in, we'll be learning to do that. We did this a few years ago in 2019 and found the students who participated really liked it and really did well in their classes as opposed to those who didn't. So next week, be watching for that link. Try to get signed into that EduGuide account before you come. The third session will be with Timberly. It's called Time is of the Essence, just a check-in where we're at. The third one will be right after midterm grades come out, and that is going to be, the title is, Am I in the Right Major? Because we know it's not unusual to come to college thinking we want to do something and getting into those classes going, ooh, this isn't what I thought. Or maybe taking the class and go, that's really cool, I want to pursue something else. So Angela Roman is going to come in and help us rethink, and, well, not rethink, either confirm that we're in the right major or maybe some other possibilities. And then the final workshop will be preparing for next semester, particularly creating financial aid or SAP appeals, and we'll talk more about that. But if you're in a position where you failed most of your courses and are repeating a lot, you probably won't hit that 67% threshold. We're going to help you prepare and know how to write an appeal and how to get ready for that so that you get funding for next year. Okay, so that's our goal with you guys. Meet with your coaches, do those EduGuide modules, and the workshops. What's in it for you? Anybody? What's in it for you? Why are you here? Success, absolutely. Your coach is going to celebrate successes with you. We want you to do well. We know you can do well. You've got what it takes, okay? You get free food. What's better than pizza, right? We won't do pizza every time. If you have any suggestions on food, let us know. For every workshop that you come to, and this is voluntary, nobody's making you do this, okay? But for every workshop you come into, your name is going to be put into a drawing for the end of the semester. For every EduGuide module that you complete, your name will be put into a drawing for the end of the semester. And you could win one of 5 book scholarships. 2 of them are $500 scholarships. There's 3 $100 scholarships that you can use for books next semester. Okay, that's really an awesome opportunity, because a lot of times when we're on academic probation, we don't necessarily have access to all the scholarships. Through Navigate, we are going to send out progress reports in week 4 and 12. We're going to ask your professors to tell us how you're doing, how things are going, because we want to be able to touch base and make sure that you're on track. In your folder, you're going to find an acknowledgement of responsibilities. I want you to take that out. These 3 papers that we're working on today, you're going to turn those in at the end of the session. We're going to make sure your coach gets them. We'll get them into Navigate for you so that you have access. But I'm going to turn things over to Nick to talk through the acknowledgement of responsibilities.
All right, good evening, everyone. Very happy to see all of you. A lot of friends in the crowd, and it's always good to make new friends. If everyone can pull out the acknowledgement of responsibilities, and if you have a writing utensil, you can start filling it in. Obviously, some stuff pretty self-explanatory. Student ID, name, major, current GPA. The last one, number of hours earned, that's how many credits do you have going into this semester. And if you don't know, you can leave it blank. Some of this stuff is pretty explanatory. Initial by each category. Questions are: contact my advisor if anything interferes with academic progress. Initial it shows you're acknowledging it. Communicate with each of my instructors throughout the semester regarding progress. Be knowledgeable of drop withdrawal dates and procedures for each semester. Obviously, the last day to drop without a grade was last week, but last day to withdraw from a full semester course is the end of March. Be knowledgeable of the course repeat policy. There goes into that a little bit. Next one's very important. Use the following resources, acknowledging the resources that are available to you. Raise your hand if you've been to the tutoring center before. All right, that's in the library. They can help in over 200 subjects, both in a walk-in format, and you can call ahead or go online and schedule an appointment through Navigate. They can help you with legitimately every subject under the sun. Writing Center, pretty much the same thing except for writing. They can help you before you have to write a paper, during when you're writing a paper, and at the very end to make sure you're putting together the best paper you can possibly can. Educational Counseling and Disability Services, they do a lot of great workshops which can help kind of build. They do a lot of time management, study skills, and for those of you who maybe previously had an IEP in high school, there's where you would go to get your accommodations. And the Personal Counseling Center, they are a great resource. If you just need someone to talk to, they are a resource that you can use. Complete weekly modules in EduGuide, approximately 15 minutes. I don't even know if it'll take you that long, maybe a little less, but certainly they are done weekly. Understand, to be clear, to register, you must meet with your academic advisor prior to registration. It's very important as you get closer is to talk to your academic advisor. I certainly know Timberly will speak to that in a little bit. And most importantly, understand that you must achieve a 2.0 GPA this semester to avoid potential dismissal from program. Once you initial behind all that, print your name. We need your John Hancock. Does anybody know what that means? Signature, there we go. And put today's date. Today's date is the 17th, thank you. And then on the back, there is a back. We got two little fun little exercises. It's how much time do I need? It's kind of a little chart here. Put the number of hours you are working this semester if you have a job. If you don't have a job, you would obviously put 0. Number of credit hours for courses this semester. It would be how many credits you're taking. Minimum hours needed for study. This one here, little math problem. What's your total number of credits times 3? Because that's very important that you put the proper time in, whether it be preparation, studying, reviewing, to make sure you are putting forth the best effort in your courses.
Nick, can I interject on
Sure,
that?
yes, I was.
So the reason we say the number times 3, if you're not sure on your number of credits, you can look up your concise schedule in MyFSU, and that'll tell you how many credits. How many of you heard 2 to 1? For every credit hour, you need 2 hours of study time. Okay, that's been the rule. But a lot of you aren't spending 3 hours in the classroom for a 3-credit class. You're seeing some blended classes. So that's why we're saying 3 to 1. So for every 3-credit class, you need to have 9 hours of study time in class time. So that's why we're using it 3 to 1. So if you have 14 credits this semester, how many hours will you need?
42.
Is that the math? Yep. I'm not a, yes, 42.
Sorry.
No.
Don't apologize.
No, don't apologize. Okay, sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Next one, number total hours of needed for sleep. Now raise your hand if you get more than 5 hours of sleep a night. Please, everyone raise their hand. All right, ooh, we're at about half, so there we go. A little better than I thought it was. And then, so what's the total of that? Subtract hours in a week, and then you have number of hours for other responsibilities. Anybody got any questions? Cool. This last one, oh, I'm sorry, question, yes?
The equation for figuring out minimum hours for studying?
3 times the number of credits.
Okay.
Good
1
question.
hour, and every hour, 1 hour would be for class time, and the other 2 would be study time.
So the last one is semester course predictions. This is almost like kind of predicting, almost like I feel like you get to put on your prognosticating hat. Put down your courses, your expected grade, how many credit hours, are you repeating it or not, and predict your midterm grade.
We're having you do this because when midterms come around and you're meeting with your coach, go back and reflect on this together to see, am I on track or do I need to make some adjustments? So take a few minutes and clear that out. When you're done, if you could kind of look up or hold your paper up just so we get a feel so everybody has enough time.
All right, for those of you wrapping up, the second form we are going to fill out is the program agreement. Should be the very next form in the folder. And it's basically, number 1, it goes over the commitment of the acknowledgement, once again, of participating in the ReFocus program, conditions. They list the workshops that Shelley already went over. Also the other conditions, which is meet with your success coach, act upon recommendations, notify people if you need help. And then lastly, it would be, we need your acknowledgement, print your name, sign, and date to make it official.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, guys, it's my turn. I want to take out your academic recovery plan. It's the one that's got the big black bar in the middle of the page. And I want you to flip it over so you're looking at the back side of those two pieces of paper. And I want you to take just a couple of quick moments, and I want you to jot down 3 things that tripped you up last semester. 3 things, 3 quick things. It can be anything. Well, let me rephrase this. You guys know what happened last semester, all right? You guys know what tripped you up. At least I think that you probably do, and you probably know what you do too. So those are the things that I kind of want to jot down real quick, because I'm going to spend a few moments talking to you about how you get over and beyond, or how you recover from that. So let's get back into the business of things. So you can flip it back over. And once again, on the top, you've got some information that you've already filled out on the other sheets. However, there's a little bit of a difference with the credits attempted, the credits earned, and your cumulative GPA. So where you're going to find this information is in your unofficial transcripts, which under My FSU is in My Records. It's that little red file folder, that icon. So if you have that information pulled up, once again, go to My FSU, go to your Student tab, and go to My Records. So over on the left-hand side, when those pages load, or that page loads, you've got a long list of information, 3 chunks. In the top piece is, I believe, it's right at the top. It says your unofficial transcript. So I want you to click on that. So when that page loads, some of you, I saw that it's not loading because you might have holds on your account. If that's the case, we're just going to have to play catch up and get this information later. But make sure that you're selecting spring semester, and then click submit. And then when it loads, my records. Unofficial transcript over on the left, very top one. So when it loads, you're going to go all the way down to the bottom of your transcripts, and you're going to see that information there. You're going to see credits attempted and credits earned. Your credits attempted are going to be higher than your credits earned. Okay, especially if you didn't pass classes or if you've withdrawn classes. So the number of credits that you have attempted are the ones that you've started or tried or attempted. It is what it is, or it's saying what it is. And then the ones that you have earned are actually the credits that you have passed, okay, which is even different than earned a grade in, okay? Okay, and then also on that page in the lower left-hand corner is going to be your cumulative GPA. You guys finding that all right? So last semester, something or some things tripped you guys up. You ran into what we like to refer to as a barrier. Who can tell me real quick what a barrier is? I mean, just its definition, not your barrier, but what is a barrier? Anything that's impeding your success, or in Tim speak, anything that gets in your way. Okay, so what happens when you run into a barrier? What do you have to do? Or what should you do? Find a way around it. Find a way through it. Find a way over it, under it. So what we're going to talk about for a few moments are the barriers that you ran into, and we're going to start talking about how you can get around those or how you can recover. And when we talk about getting around them, it's not necessarily a workaround, because that just doesn't work. A workaround does not work. So we've got three different columns of different types of barriers or impediments or things that got into your way last semester. So I'm pretty darn sure that those three things that I had you write on the back, you're going to be able to find on this sheet here. So I want you to go through that checklist and be very honest with yourselves and check off the things that tripped you up, that got in your way, those barriers. And if, excuse me, if you're not seeing what you would say, you've got a place there to add other or to put your own response in there. So for the sake of explanation and illustration and example, I checked off three things that I frequently hear from my students, one in each column. So I'm going to use those as examples. I checked off study time, not enough study time, in column 1. Under personal, I checked off not enough, or sleep. It just says sleep, because sometimes people are getting too much sleep versus not enough. And then in the third column, I checked off excessive socializing. So we're going to use those as examples of whatever it is that is tripping me up. So flipping it over to the next page, before you start writing in this, it never ceases to amaze me when I'm talking to my students that they're not very specific when giving an answer or an example of how to change something, okay? So it's not unusual for me to hear a student say, well, I just need to study more. What does that mean? I just need to go to bed on time. What does that mean? I just need to stop hanging out with my friends. I know that's not going to happen. But there are things that you guys can do in each one of these areas that can make a huge difference. And you do have the ability to turn all these things around, okay? You have the ability to turn all of these things that tripped you up around. So as you go through here, I want you to write out, you've got 5 spaces. If you need a little bit more, you can put them on the back. But we want you to write down those things that are tripping you up. But when you write down the strategies, and I'm actually not going to go through these. You don't want me to give them examples or anything. This is stuff that they're going to talk to their coaches about, right? Okay. I do have a couple of things to say about that. So using my examples that I checked off on the page before, you know, if I said that I didn't have enough study time, and I can assure every single one of you, you do have enough study time. Even if you're working, even if you have to go home, even if you have children, you do have the ability to find enough study time. I assure you, you do have enough study time. You just probably are not aware of where to find it and how to commit to it. So if somebody were to choose that one, they might say that I am going to study for my English 150 class, which is Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 o'clock. That's going to be at least 3 of my designated study times. Whether I have something due or not, I'm going to devote that time. That's just an example. Sleep. I am going to commit to going to bed at such and such a clock. I'd say 10 o'clock, but you guys would all laugh at me. Consistency is the key with sleep. But the other thing on the other side of sleep is getting up at the same time. And we're not going to talk specifics. That's your opportunity to talk about those types of things with your coach. And I'm going to come back to that in a moment. Too much socializing. You know, an example of how to socialize a little bit less is you might actually have to tell your friends, you know what? On Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's my time in flight from 6 to 9 o'clock. Trust me, they can work around that. They might even go with you. Okay? So we're going to be looking at those types of things when we work with you guys in a coaching type of a capacity. And let me tell you a little bit more about your coaches. Your coaches are offering their time to you because they want to. They're not grading you, they're not advising you, they're not your parents, and they're not your friends, but they've got a lot of experience, they've been around here for a long time, and they probably have some pretty darn good insight. So what I really, really want to encourage you guys to do is to take a risk and take the opportunity to be brave and share your needs and experiences with these people who are going to be spending time with you. And I wrote down here, take a risk. Take a risk. Because with risk comes growth. And I wrote down here, I promise that. And I don't make promises. But I assure you, if you take the risk and commit to this program, you guys are going to have some big gains. And actually, you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. So when you're looking at these things, be specific. And if you don't know how to be specific, then when you meet with your coach, tell them that. I don't know how to set a bedtime. I don't know how to tell my friends no. I don't know how to be specific. And I bet you that they'll have some pretty good suggestions or insight. Okay? Any questions on that? Be brave. Take a risk. You have absolutely nothing to lose.
Okay, I see some people getting anxious, and I know some of you have SLA, so we're gonna turn over to some wrap up. You're gonna have an opportunity to take all the time you need to fill those out, okay? But until then, I wanna share with you some tales of the trenches. Nick and Timberly are gonna share some of their stories. Tales from the trenches. We've been where you are.
Ladies first.
I'll go first. So
Over here so you can get you recorded.
So I am a 1989 graduate of Ferris State University. I was actually the first class to graduate from Ferris when it went from a college to a university. I started college in 1983. You do the math. How long did it take me to get out of here? 6 years. In those 6 years, I was academically dismissed twice. Twice. I changed my major probably 3 times. When I started college, I wanted to be a fashion designer, which is a joke because I don't even like shopping. But you know, it was the 80s and everything was big and everything was flashy and all that good stuff. And I really, truly did not know what I wanted to do. When I started college, I was 17. I have a November birthday. Any other November babies? Yes. We were either the oldest in the class or the youngest in the class. I was the youngest, so I was 17 for a long time when I started. I started college taking the lowest math class that Ferris offered. Back then, I don't remember what it was called, but now it would be Math 010. I was not strong in math. I still am not. However, all these years later, I know the value of math, and I use math all the time. Trust me. The only thing I don't use it in is geometry, which is for bowling and pool, and I don't know it, or anyways, we won't talk math because it makes me nervous. But anyways, I had to take Math 115 to get out of here. To get out of here. 3 times, okay? Math 115 is a university requirement. So I had to take that, I'm not kidding, to be able to graduate, all right? I just barely graduated my first time around. I was young, first gen. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have anybody to help me. I was really timid. Nick's going to laugh about that, so are other people. But I didn't know what I didn't know. And more often than not, I find that is the case with a lot of the students that I work with. You don't know what you don't know, and that's some of the stuff that's tripping you up. However, I am pretty darn determined. All these years later, I have 3 degrees. When I went to grad school, I graduated with honors. Turned some things around, but I guess where I'm going with this is I know what you guys are going through. And so do a lot of other of your professors and the people that you interact with. We get it, okay? Which is part of what brings us here right now. So Woodbridge Ferris has a quote that you will see in lots of different places on campus. And the quote goes something to the effect is, "I will help you if you'll let me." So I'm going to once again encourage you to allow the people that are reaching out to help you to do so. Because there's a darn good chance that they've been through the same darn stuff that you guys are going through right now. And it is temporary.
Right. All right, so let's go back to the rocking year of 2011. Fun time was had by all. I entered college on academic probation. I had a rocking 2.2 GPA in high school. I used to joke I got a lot of C's because I was cool. There we go, there's the giggle, there we go. I was hoping for that. But I entered college on probation, and basically, I entered with basically 2 strikes. If I had a bad semester, I was going to be out the door. However, with a program like this, they taught me how to be my own advocate. Also had an IEP throughout school, and I didn't get any help, which I was supposed to get. So guess how my grades started out? My first semester of college, guess how they started out? I wish I would have gotten a C, would have gotten a D on a good day. So, but it was important that I became my advocate. I had to go to tutoring. I had to go to the Educational Resources Center. And because of very great people and great programs like this, I was not only able to realize that, hey, I actually can do this college thing, but was able to have success. I had to leave school. I got a full-time job, but there was always something eating at me to go back, so I went to night school. So 6 to 9:30 was my time to shine. Eventually got a bachelor's degree and realized that, and I kept thinking back to all those people that helped me way back in that cool year of 2011, and I decided I want to be one of those people that are able to help students realize that, hey, they're not only in college, they can have success in college, they can graduate from college, they can go back to high school and give all their old teachers heart attacks of saying, look, here's my college degree. Very, very, very fun activity, by the way. I encourage you all to do it. But once again, the most important thing was I realized in that very first year while I was on academic probation was to be my biggest advocate. For you TIP students who I've talked to already, I say the same thing about academic probation. The sun still rises in the east, sets in the west, and the sky is up, ground is down. So certainly it's not the end of the world, and once again it shows if you're able to let us help you, we can get you on a path to success.
Fortunately, I was not in a position of dismissal. High school came very easy to me. Like many of you, high school was very easy. I didn't have to study. I didn't have to do things. I got into college and I got a D on my first history test. How dare that professor give me a D? I was at the top of my class. What was he thinking? But I quickly learned I did not know how to study. I tried to stay up and study like I did in high school. The night before the test, I tried to read 6 chapters and expected to get an A. It didn't happen. We've got resources for you. Again, we've talked about these, but we want to make sure that you know the Academic Literacy Center is free. It's there. There is no shame in seeking out help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, okay? You can get help through the Writing Center, Educational Counseling Disability Services. If you've had an IEP in high school, it doesn't automatically go into effect. There is no shame in getting those services here. If you're running into some depression, struggling, we've got professional counselors on hand because we know college students have challenges and we can help you with that. I just pointed out here, when you go to the Ferris webpage, www.ferris.edu, up in that right-hand corner, go to current students. You're going to find links to all these resources and more. You at Ferris, you'll see that, you can do you@ferris.edu or in MyFSU, you can click on there. You can get all kinds of resources. If you're struggling making friends, whatever it is, there's all kinds of vetted resources. And then a follow-up that I want to share with you is College Info Geek. This is a really cool website that I found. We're going to go up here into topics, studying and learning. We're not going to sit here and tell you how to study and learn because we know you've got the grit. We know you've got the ability. We admitted you to this university. We're here to provide the resources. You have to take the reins. You have to drive the bus, okay? This is a great resource. So if you go in here to the study tips, there's all kinds of things about memory techniques, how to study, how to ace exams, how to write essays, not with a chat bot, how to get better at math. Take advantage of these. Take the time. Get in there. Advocate for yourself. Because remember, I want to get retirement, okay? Questions, comments? Who wants to win a prize? All right. So before we go to that, whoops, let me get back in here. Again, you're going to turn in all 3 documents. When you're done, just go to the center or the outside and just turn them face down. Put them face down in the middle. We'll pick them up, okay? Bear with me. The last 5 minutes of class is often the most important because we try to rush a lot of stuff in there, okay? Watch your email for a message from your coach. We're going to be making coaching assignments within the next couple of days. Your coaches will reach out to you. We're also working on getting it connected in Navigate. So you know right now, if you go into your Navigate account, and if you haven't, make sure you get set up with Navigate. When you go into Navigate, you see your advisor, you see your engagement coach and all your professors. We're working on getting your success coach built in there so you can just click on schedule appointment anytime. And again, these papers will be scanned in your account so you can go through them with your coaches. Yes?
Is your success coach also a professor here at Ferris, like your advisor?
Right now, we don't have any professors on board, but we've got some administrators and we've got a wide variety of people, okay? January 31st, again, watch for, I'm going to be doing an appointment campaign through Navigate where you can just go in and RSVP so we make sure we have enough food. When you leave tonight, take a couple extra pieces of pizza with you, okay? I can only have that for lunch so many times. And then celebrate your successes. How many of you have had a success already this semester?
There we go.
How many of you are here tonight? Stand up if you're here tonight. That is a success. You're on the right track. All right.